Hi, everybody. My name is Lorraine Tierney, and I'm with Chat and Craft with Lorraine, and I'm coming to you live today to show you the spotlighting technique. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I live in Warner, New Hampshire. But right now, I am staying with my daughter in Massachusetts, and I think a lot of you know I have a grandson that's in the hospital, so I'm living with her to help take care of my older grandson. So, anyway, I'm set up here. It's a little bit makeshift. I'm sorry if the lighting is a little bit dark or if it's a little bit noisy in the background. There's dogs here and an air conditioner running. It's hot and some other things. So, we're going to make a card together today. I just want to remind you that it's celebration. So, any $50 or $100 purchase you make with Stampin' Up! You get to pick a free item. And today is my 4-year anniversary of being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'm really pleased about that. And in honor of my anniversary, I will reimburse you for your shipping on an order over $50 and an order that uses this host code right here. So write that down. I don't want to leave that up on the bottom the whole time because it bugs me there. But that's the host code if you want to place an order and it's over $50 before tax and shipping. I will send you a check to reimburse you for your shipping in honor of my anniversary. Becoming a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator has been one of the best things I've ever done. And if you have any questions about it or you'd like to join for fun or a discount, I'd love to have you join my team. It's a lot of fun. All right, so we are going to get started. Here is some of the things we're going to do. So I started by making this card earlier today, and I saw this a card very similar to this on the Stampin' Up! Page done by one of their artisan design team members. I think her name is Tammy Hewlett. She used slightly different colors and she colored the background, but she used this perfectly penciled paper and made a card with it. So I thought I would give this a try. And I want to show you something I discovered accidentally, but that turned out okay. I colored the whole sheet like this. It looked like this in the beginning. I covered the whole thing, and then I started to color some of the background between the flowers, and I tried two colors and I didn't like either one. So I thought, oh, I'll just cut that off. And then I decided to flip it over and put it next to here for the black and white. That's what's on the other side. But you can see that some of my color had gone through, but I really like the way that looks. And I feel like it really makes it blend in with the rest of the background. So I liked that. So it kind of ties it in a little bit. So it's one of those happy accidents that are nice to see. So anyway, that's what I started with, but I decided this was too much coloring, and I really didn't want to do that again. It took a little bit too long, and yeah, I just didn't want to do that. So I thought this would be a good card to use the spotlighting technique for. So I just want to show you this paper really quickly. This is perfectly penciled. You get two pieces of each of these in a pack. I think it's $12. And on one side, there are these black and white designs. And then on the other side, they're penciled like drawings. I cut one of these leaves out here to go on the back on this card right here. So on the back, they're a penciled drawing that are just perfect to be colored. And they're different flowers, I think. This one even has some butterflies. I don't know enough about flowers to be able to tell you what kinds of flowers these are. But they're very pretty on the other side. You might need to see those a little bit closer so they don't look quite so busy. and it colors up pretty nicely. So that's what we're going to use. Okay. So the first thing we need to do is cut a circle out of this paper before we color it. So I have the Stylish Shapes dies here. These are the stitched dies. There's circles, there's banners, and there's squares. I really like these. I'm using these a lot. And I'm going to pick the third largest of the circles, and I want to place it where I get some nice flowers to cut out. So I think I don't know where I want to do this. Yeah, I don't want to go too high. I think I will do it right there and get cut out those flowers. I don't have my mini cut and emboss with me here, so I'm going to have to use my bigger machine, and I apologize if it shakes the camera. I'll try to go through as gently as I can, but if I move too far away as I do this, the microphone can't pick up things and things go crazy. So, hi Jackie, nice to see you. Is it hot, hot, hot where you are? It's pretty hot here today. All right, so here is my circle. All right, I'm going to get a piece of scrap paper, and now I'm going to just color in what's inside this circle. And I have Orchid Oasis blends, the light and dark, and the Parakeet Party blends. And these are both part of the 22 to 24, 2022 to 2024 in colors. So I'm going to start with the darker blend, and I'm going to color over the grayer parts of this. The parts that Stampin' Up! Has already shaded in there. So I'm going to do those darker. If I start with the lighter color is too dark to then see where the shading is. So I'll start with the darker. And I am not a real exact blends colorer. I just kind of fill it in a little bit. I find that the blends are very forgiving. I mean, you can do absolutely exquisite coloring with it, but I don't really seem to have the patience to do that. Some of these edges that are on the edge, the flowers that are on the edge, I'm having a hard time telling whether it's leaves or a flower, but we'll hope that I am guessing correctly as I do this. That looks like a leaf up there. I'm going to put this back in for a second just to see. Okay, so this is a little bit of flower, and then the rest is leaf. Okay, so that's the dark. And now I'm going to use the lighter color. I like the brush tip better than the bullet tip. And you'll notice that this color is going to change a little bit as it dries. I think it blends a little bit as well as becoming a little bit lighter. Okay. You can see it takes a little while to color these, and so coloring that whole card front does take a little while. I'm just checking to make sure I have the light here. That looked a little bit dark, but you can see the shading is, as it dries, the shading does become a little bit more visible, and I'm going right over the dark in many places to try to blend it in a little bit. Okay, and now I'm going to use the bullet tip for the stems because those are quite thin, and I'm starting again with the darker Parakeet Party, and I'm going over the shaded pieces first. And now I'll go to the lighter one with my brush tip. And do those. Okay, and now we only have to color in just a little bit of that. Hi, Michelle. I'm glad you like the color choices. We're going to mat that piece on a little bit of black, and then this piece will pop up on dimensionals, and you'll see just a little bit of the color spotlighted. So let me find my glue here. Hi, Tommy. Thanks for watching. I was going to, I think I can do it. I was going to cut off a little bit of the edge and flip it over like I did on the other card. I think that's about 1/2 inch. Hopefully this will not stick to my trimmer. So I'm just going to cut off a 1/2 inch piece because I do like having the contrasting black and white there. You're going to hear my cutter fall in a second if I put it there. Okay, so that's going to go there. And we'll go back to gluing this on. Oh, I got glue on my fingers and I almost stuck them together. So I'll line this up on 3 sides. So it's not going to match on that 4th one just yet. I seem to be into the black and white a little bit. I posted another card today on my page that I did for a challenge, and I don't know, I think not too long ago I had one with Parakeet Party and the fish that was in black and white. So that's just the front of the card with the circle cut out. And then that's going to go on here. Let's see if I can find my bone folder. Here it is. All right. I'm gonna, well, I shouldn't glue that on just yet because sometimes then I think, oh, let me add a ribbon or let me add something else. So I'm gonna pop up the circle on dimensional so you can see how the coloring went through again. You never want to use the blends on your card front. You want to have it on a different piece of paper. If you're using white, I like the thick white the best for the blends. I feel like it soaks in and blends really nicely on that. So now I have to be careful to try to get this lined up so that the flowers match. And I wasn't sure. Well, I really wanted to go with black across here for the sentiment, or a black banner. I feel like my camera is so far away from this table right now. Like I said, I don't have my usual setup. Maybe that's a little bit better. But I don't have any white embossing powder with me, so um, I can't stamp on that white. And now I think this one is too thick. I think I want something smaller, or maybe I want it on the Orchid Oasis piece. I don't know. Oh, I have another circle cut here. Nope, that is way too big. I don't know what I want to do for a sentiment on that right now, but I don't think I want a ribbon or anything else. I'm going to go ahead and glue this down, and you're going to tell me what I should do for a sentiment. Should I use one of those banners? I could use a smaller one. Get that even all the way around. I'm not loving that choice. Do I have any parakeet party handy? Sorry about that. I'm practically under the table. Nope. I think I'm going to do a thin sentiment. I'll just cut it down on that. I was going to use maybe the best wishes from the Happiness Abounds. I really like the fonts on these, and I think it has some great sayings. Let me try that in the Orchid Oasis, and then we'll just trim it. Perhaps I should have made my circle a little bigger. You can learn from my mistakes. This looks a little blotchy. Let's see if we can. There we go. Best wishes. That'll be good. I can use that for anniversary or for wedding or birthday. I think I'm wearing an Orchid Oasis shirt today. I didn't know I was coordinating with my card, but I guess I am. I don't know if that will fit in one of these banners. I don't think it will. I'm looking for one more stamp set that has some dies that go with it. And I can't find that fast enough, so we will just cut this out. And there we go. I need something behind that. So I'm going to quickly cut out this long, thinner banner and see if I can put that behind there. We'll do the little cut it in half trick and see how that goes. Nothing like thinking you have it all planned out and then it turns out just a little bit different. I'm going to go like this and put a little bit over here. I'm going to take just another hair off of this if I can get it nice and even. There we go. And then sometimes you get that little ridge there. Now we can see a little more of that. Is that going to work? Yes. Okay. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on each end here for now and fit this in. My 3-year-old grandson went to the hospital today with his dad to see his little brother, so that gave me a little bit of time to do some crafting. So here you go. Now I don't know, maybe I'm too close now, but then we'll put this best wishes right here. There is a little bit of a gap in that banner. I'm telling you all my secrets, and I want to try to hide that a little bit. So I'm looking for a ribbon or some twine. And of course, the twine I need is on the bottom of this package. I'm going to use the Orchid Oasis Baker's twine and try to tie a bow to put back there. We'll see how I do with that. Jackie says it's been in the 100s in Nebraska. Wow. That's hot and no rain. I don't think we've had rain here for a while either. Maybe at night a thunderstorm or two, but not too much. So let's see what I can do with this. If I can put a little ribbon. I think I might have it be a little more abstract rather than a bow. So I'm going to put a glue dot back there. And I will start with a bow and press that into the glue dot, but then I'm going to just add a few more loops and maybe another glue dot. And just kind of have like this one loop is twisting on me and I'm not happy about that, so I'm going to put a glue dot over here And I am going, oh, the glue dot stuck to my finger. The glue dot down here. And make this flip over and stay there. Okay. And it'll just be some loops there, helping that to fill in. And I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals on the end of that. And then I'm going to put myself out of my misery of trying to make this work and call it a card. Remember, we have higher expectations than most people do on our cards, and whoever receives this will love it, and I will send it even if it's not perfect. I will send it. So there we go. Let's see if I can get that a wee bit straighter. And I'm going to add a couple of dots, some of the in color dots here. I opened this up. Oh, here we go, from the bottom. I can't stand having that sticky flap in the way. I like these. They kind of come in a ombre colors. There's some that are darker, some that are lighter. I think that's really pretty the way they do that. So I'm going to put a couple of these around. Whoop. I don't know why I'm not using my take your pick tool. When I have things popped up, like the circle is popped up and then the sentiment is popped up, I like to put the embellishment near that, but not popped up, because then it's a little bit protected and it won't mess up things in the mail or on the envelope. Let's see if I can get another one of these. I really want to put it there and have like a triangle, so ignored what my own advice on where to put it. So here's the card with the spotlighting technique. I love the black and white paper, and just using the same paper as a little border there, and then your sentiment and a little bit of coloring, not nearly as much coloring as this. I mean, this does pack a little bit more punch. I almost feel like on the envelope I need to say, put your sunglasses on, warning, bright card inside. But there's those two cards, and I just want to remind you that I am having an ordering special in honor of my 4th stamp anniversary. I will reimburse you for your shipping if you shop at chatandcraftwithlorraine.com, and then there's a shop now button, and put in this host code up on the top right hand side. Type in the host code, then hit apply, and you'll be all set, and I will send you back your shipping costs. So you get a celebration item for a $50 celebration item and free shipping. I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday, and stay cool if you're in one of the hot parts of the United States like I am. I could do this and say goodbye. Thanks very much for watching, and have a great day. Bye-bye.